I think they called me 47.
That's not a name.
So make it one.
All right. Agent 40.
Stealth games are sometimes described as the thinking man's action game, but IO Interactive's Hitman series has elevated its own style of stealth to a whole new level. There have been several mainline entries, books, and films in the Hitman franchise for the past 22 years. The fact that the games have drawn influence from various movies, including James Bond and Mission Impossible, will satisfy fans of espionage and assassin movies. So, without further ado, let's jump right into the video to unravel the origins of the legendary assassin. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin. Tragic origin of Agent 47. Agent 47 is a genetically altered humanoid clone. Years of clandestine gene enhancement research went into creating his DNA. This man's invention was funded in part by the DNA contributions of 5 organized crime figures, namely Arkady Jegorov, Franz Fuchs, Li Hong, Otto Wolfgang Ortmeyer, and Pablo Belisario Ochoa. After their mission was accomplished, Ortmeyer created a psychiatric asylum in Romania as a disguise for his genetic research, while the remaining went on to become prominent criminals. In order to arrange for funds for his research, Ortmeyer agreed to offer his former allies donor organs removed from the bodies of the clones, helping them lengthen their own lifespan. Consequently, because of the organs, the terrorists seemed considerably younger, even though they were already past their 50s. Dr. Ortmeyer wanted to make ideal assassins, who would be physically fit while still being able to follow commands wholeheartedly and without hesitation. Before the creation of the 47 clone, Dr. Ortmeyer made an effort to share his discoveries with the world, but his colleagues disregarded his research because of his illogical and extreme views. Agent 47 was born in Ortmeyer's institution in Romania on September 5, 1964. On the back of his skull, he had the numerals 640509 inked. 04 to indicate that he is a member of the 4th series, 01 to indicate that he is the 1st, and 47 to indicate that he is the 47th. Despite having many other clones at his disposal, Dr. Ortmeyer paid 47 a little bit more attention because he was his first complete genetic success. Between the ages of 5 and 7, 47 barely interacted with anyone and was quite reserved. His single act of attachment was adopting a stray laboratory rabbit, much to the dismay of Dr. Ortmeyer. When the rabbit passed away a few days later, Ortmeyer was shocked to find 47 sobbing because no clone of his had ever exhibited such emotion before. 47 again adopted another pet 5 years later, which was a mouse. He took care of the mouse for nearly a month before another clone killed it as a nasty practical joke. Later, 47 returns to Ortmeyer's lab in Contracts in the year 2000. He finds 5 incubating clones in chambers carrying the names of the 5 fathers. Contracts, on the other hand, takes place in the memories of 47, and other elements from Contracts, such as Alvaro Delvadi's actual name being Philip Bercuzzi, have subsequently been retconned, bringing uncertainty on the validity of these 5 clones.
Ah, so this is Hong Kong. People talk of it as an interesting place, filled with mystery, laughs.
Between the ages of 13 and 23, 47 had an unfavorable connection with the facility's personnel, which was ascribed to his ongoing unease caused by frequent medical procedures and routine exams. Dr. Ortmeyer had to provide 47 additional security after 47 repeatedly used many needles to assault a doctor on one occasion. From an early age, 47 and the other clones were taught how to murder effectively. He received training in the use of weapons, military equipment, martial arts, and disguising oneself, along with more traditional assassination methods like the famed fiber wire and sniper rifle. He attacked the asylum personnel with handmade slingshots while in training, which resulted in all of them being seized, and he was known for his outstanding shooting. In his boredom, he would also shoot smiling faces into targets. Although all of the clones received a decent education about the outside world through the use of conventional school textbooks, this is one of the few instances in which 47 may have been exposed to pop culture. According to the Agent 47 birth of the Hitman comic book series, 47 and a clone named 6 had developed a close bond, and the two of them made an effective assassination squad. For additional money, Ortmeyer would frequently send his clones on assassinations. On one such instance, targets for 47 and 6 included Nancy and Peter Burnwood, who happened to be the parents of Diana Burnwood, who would go on to become 47's handler in ICA, and two plaintiffs in a case against Blue Seed Pharmaceuticals. On March 23, 1977, 6 persuaded 47 to flee the institution with him. They sought safety in a tiny agricultural community before being captured. Many years later, in 1989, they would do it once more. During a mission in Berlin, they forced the same German scientist who created the explosive chip implants while working for Ortmeyer to defuse the implants before 47, acting against 6's wishes, killed him. Following orders, they went back to the asylum where they made an effort to rescue the remaining clones, murdering several guards in the process. 6 managed to escape, but 47 was captured, and the remainder of Ortmeyer's guards brought him in. Later, 6 would live in the outer world under the made-up identity of Lucas Gray. In the book, Hitman, Enemy Within, 47 remembers 6 quite differently. In this version of events, 6 harassed him until 47 killed him in a toilet stall when they were both 12 years old. 47 then pulled off a daring escape from the facility. To do so, he hid a bow and arrow to kill a guard dog, constructed a fiber wire out of a ledge and broken broom pieces, greased squeaky door hinges, and jumped the gate to hitchhike into a Romanian town. It was here when he came across high-end clothing stores for the first time, and it's possible that this had an impact on his later preference for suits and ties. Later, a doctor working in an asylum discovered him waiting at a bus stop and bizarrely offered him breakfast of pancakes. He told 47 that he was right to kill the Series 6 clone and had done it well, but that going forward, he should only kill when directed.
You think you've won? 47 is out there. And 47 never misses his...
As 47's memory is erased with an experimental serum in Birth of the Hitman, Ortmeyer convinces him of the Enemy Within version of events by mentioning that he killed his tormentor at the age of 12. As 47 insists, "That's not what happened, father," Ortmeyer replies, "When we're done here, 47, it will be." Dr. Ortmeyer even went so far as to note 47's 25th birthday in his diary on September 5th, 1989, even if 47 didn't, along with remarks that he had grown up and quit most of his bad habits. He said that 47, at around 30, was his most talented clone and had passed every test he could conceive of in 1993. Additional serums were given to all the clones in an effort to eliminate their emotions, similar to the experimental serum that removed 47's recall of the events of 6 from his memories. According to Birth of the Hitman, in 1996, the serums rendered the majority of the clones maniacally sad. As a result, some of them died from malnutrition, dehydration, and infected bed sores. By that time, Ortmeyer had created at least 81 clones, but they were still too frail to complete murder operations outside the laboratory. Eventually, 47 was the sole clone still alive inside the institution. Most had died, and only a select few, including 6 and 17, had successfully adjusted to life outside the asylum. Relationships between everyone who was paying for Dr. Ortmeyer's study, from Providence to his pals in the French Foreign Legion, deteriorated because they were tired of supporting him with ineffective results. Dr. Ortmeyer occasionally made clear suggestions that, if necessary, he would use the clones against his pals in the French Foreign Legion. Providence asked that Dr. Ortmeyer hand over 47 to their care in the meantime, and then shut down his practice. As depicted at the start of Hitman Codename 47, Ortmeyer deliberately built a security hole in the institution in 1999 so that 47 might escape. Ortmeyer was visited by Constant Arthur Edwards of Providence the very next morning, who told him he could resume the process of creating additional clones and added, "If I were a more skeptical man, I'd say you've made yourself necessary at a time when you were very much disposable." Despite the possibility that a prior Subject 48 perished as a consequence of the serum, Ortmeyer presumably reused the number 48 because their design was substantially based on 47. Series 48, which swiftly aged them to adulthood, was most likely created by Ortmeyer after this arrangement.
I think they called me 47,
That's not a name.
so make it one.
All right. Agent 47.
His stint with the ICA begins. Birth of the Hitman depicts an incident that took place in late 1999 when several contracts were placed for the murder of Franklin Marchand, the founder of Bricolage Technology. Although he was best known for developing satellite technology, Marchand also operated a secret chemical weapons manufacturing facility in Afghanistan, where a leak killed at least 500 locals. When Marchand was preparing to make a rare public appearance in Paris at Place de la Concorde to announce a relief fund for those in need in Afghanistan, an unnamed patron of 47 requested that he fabricates Marchand's assassination as an accident, or otherwise he would be celebrated as a hero. A 4-person squad from the ICA was dispatched to shoot down Marchand because someone else had paid them to get rid of him. 47 quickly overpowered the ICA crew before holding a taxi driver at gunpoint and forcing him to run down Marchand with his vehicle. Diana later met 47 in a pub, gave him the ICA's invitation to audition, and actively encouraged the ICA to recruit him. In the first scene of Hitman, handler Diana Burnwood and training director Eric Soders interview 47 for the ICA in a top-secret facility in a sparsely populated, icy area. Although 47 underwent extensive background checks, psychological tests, and training programs, little was unraveled about his prior life. Eric Soders was extremely hesitant to hire 47 because of how little they knew about him, saying to Diana, "Frankly, it's as if the earth simply vomited him out." Still, Burnwood thought that 47 would be a priceless addition to the ICA. Ironically, given how well 47 hid his true identity, Soders believed that 47 had lied about arriving from a Romanian refuge. There was nothing in Agent 47's past that the ICA could use against him as leverage. Soders was frustrated with this lack of knowledge about Agent 47's background and gave him the harshest tests imaginable in the hopes of being able to reject him. Diana decided to break the rules after learning about the scenario and assisted 47 in passing his audition. Diana Burnwood was subsequently given the responsibility of becoming 47's handler once he was declared a full agent of the ICA.
I think they called me 47,
That's not a name.
so make it
Agent
one.
47 was hired to kill 4 prominent underworld individuals 1 year after leaving the asylum and just a short time after joining the ICA. The kills were allegedly ordered by 4 distinct customers, but it was actually the work of Dr. Ortmeyer. The first target was Red Dragon Triad leader Li Hong, who was so well defended that the ICA and 47 were only able to feel ready to go after playing the Red Dragon Triads, Hong Kong's corrupt police force, and Blue Lotus Triads against each other in a convoluted chain of events. Eventually, 47 was able to infiltrate the Red Dragon headquarters and kill Hong. The first time 47 and CIA agent Carlton Smith met was also during this operation. Smith would subsequently go on to work as a regular ICA informant. The next task was to assassinate Pablo Belisario Ochoa, the head of a drug cartel in Colombia, and destroy his drug plantation. 47 was only able to do this after building up goodwill with the indigenous Uwa tribe, which had long been tormented by Ochoa's cartel enforcers. 47 entered the premises, murdered Ochoa inside, and then detonated the drug factory as he made his way out on a propeller plane. The third contract was against Fritz, Franz, and Fabian Fuchs, 3 brothers who collaborated as Nazi-supporting terrorists. First, 47 and Sergei Barkov, an ex-general of the Russian armed forces who was willing to supply the Fuchs brother with nuclear weapons, assassinated Fabian in Kamchatka, Siberia. 47 then traveled to Budapest, Hungary to kill Franz and Fritz Fuchs and disarm a device that the Fuchs had placed nearby that was about to go off at a summit of the UN. Finally, while Arkadiusz Zegarov's vessel was parked in Rotterdam, Netherlands, 47 was dispatched to assassinate the Russian criminal boss. The Rotterdam chief of police recruited 47 to assassinate flaming Rotterdam leader Rutgert van Leuven, collect some blackmail evidence, and kill Klaus Teller, a detective who was previously unsuccessful at completing the same task. This coincidental employment opportunity was unconnected to Ortmeyer. Unfortunately, Jegarov was to be met by the bikers, and without Van Leuven, finding him became more challenging. But 47 followed one of their guys to a postponed arms transaction with Jegarov's underboss, who 47 then followed to Jegarov. 47 sneaked onto the ship, killed Jegarov, and then disarmed a further large-scale bomb on Jegarov's tanker before fleeing. The ICA didn't learn that Otto Wolfgang Ortmeyer, the secretive orderer of all 4 contracts, was behind them until after all of them had been completed. Even so, the ICA agreed to his fifth and final task, which was only given to 47 once more at Ortmeyer's request. Dr. Orden Kovacs, 47, regained many of his childhood memories after killing his intended victim and traveling back to the Romanian institution where he spent his formative years. Dr. Ortmeyer replied by sending a SWAT unit to the institution, and 47 entered the asylum immediately to assassinate him. Coincidentally, he discovers Agent Smith being kept hostage in one of their wards. 47 guns his way through a 48 series clone ambush, confronts Ortmeyer in his office, and kills him by breaking his neck after Smith takes him to the cloning lab's hidden entrance. 47 then makes his way back up to the institution, avoids the Romanian police, and uses Ortmeyer's automobile as a means of emigrating.
You obviously learned too much about me. I can't have that. Not even in
47's shot at redemption. 47 tried to move on from his past life as a hitman for a year or two, but instead found salvation in a rural Sicilian Catholic church and a menial job as a gardener. Due to his achievements, 47 attained legendary status throughout the world's criminal underground, albeit most believed he had passed away. Nevertheless, 47 was located by Sergei Zavorotko, a significant arms dealer with WMDs and an American mystery man. Father Emilio Vittorio, the priest of 47, was taken hostage at about the same time by mob boss Giuseppe Giuliani. 47 reconnected with the ICA and consented to take on another contract soon in return for information and satellite images of Giuliani's mansion. 47 was disappointed to discover that Vittorio had already been relocated after killing Giuliani and searching the villa. Diana tells him that Vittorio had been carried away by 4 Russian guys with beards, who were later disclosed to be operating for Zavorotko and had secretly kidnapped Vittorio again to entice 47 out of his retirement. By accepting a new agreement involving Russian military personnel, 47 compensated the ICA for the aid they had provided. 47 rightly thought that it was connected in some way to Vittorio's unidentified kidnappers. This was the start of a series of perilous expeditions that Zavorotko funded so he could put together the various components of a WMD and hush anybody who knew about his deeds. However, Zavorotko's ownership of a WMD became known, and Zavorotko mistakenly believes that 47 alerted the police, even though it was probably the mystery man who was setting up a trap for Zavorotko. Zavorotko then dispatched Agent 17, another clone developed by Ortmeyer, along with the mystery man, to kill 47. 47 successfully murdered 17 and then challenged Zavorotko through 17's earpiece when Zavorotko attempted to entrap 47 in St. Petersburg. With Vittorio in captivity, Zavorotko and his team quickly marched to Gontrano, where they waited and attempt to surprise 47. 47 managed to escape this trap as well, killing Zavorotko along with his men and saving Vittorio in the process. Then, Vittorio thanked 47 for saving him and urged him to keep trying to turn his life around. After giving 47 a rosary, Vittorio grudgingly let him leave his church. Nevertheless, 47 had learned from the experience that his sole goal in life was to kill people, that he and his loved ones would never be secure, and that he had to continue working as a hitman in order to survive and be protected. 47 returned to the ICA afterwards. The fact that 47 kept in touch with Vittorio and trusted Sister Mary with Victoria suggests that he did not completely renounce his religion.
Always knew I never belonged in this world. I wasn't made for this.
Over the course of the subsequent years, Agent 47 nonchalantly went back to his life as a hired assassin. He learns that a killer was paid to murder Big Kahuna, the elected head of a committee of biker gangs, while on a mission to kill him. The consequence is that Big K's assassination is unsuccessful. Despite that, he finds video evidence showing that the killer is a part of Puissance 13 and that a second member of the gang has infiltrated the ICA. He locates the traitor, who turns out to be a board member named Aristotle Thurakis, and kills him after locating another member of the Puissance 13 in Morocco, Ali bin Ahmed bin Saleh al-Fulani. After murdering Richard Della Hunt and Alvaro Delvati in a Paris opera hall on March 18, 2004, 47 was shot by a police officer as he entered his hotel room. He went to his hotel room, wondering how the cop recognized him, only to pass out on the floor of the room. Before falling unconscious and being brought back to consciousness by an ICA physician, 47 reflected on his prior missions. Detective Albert Fournier and his tactical team encircled 47's hotel room as soon as he was fully aware again. After killing Fournier and making his way out of the hotel, 47 flew to the US and met Diana there.
It's me, 47, Diana. What are you doing here?
Diana delivered 47 a dossier stating that they were once more in danger from a significant rival known as the Franchise on his flight out of Paris. They possessed an army of albino clones and strong ties to worldwide administrations. They intended to make Daniel Morris the president of the United States by assassinating politicians and having him take their places as part of their strategy to keep the cloning technology to themselves. Their boss, former director of the FBI, Alexander Leland Kane, planned to recreate Ortmeyer's techniques using subpar cloning technology. But he needed Agent 47's bone marrow to fully understand the full procedure. Within the following year and a half, most of the international contract agency agents and management left as 47 maintained his business while residing in the United States. Diana informed 47 on August 15, 2005 that they were the only two remaining ICA members, and that when 47 completed his last job, she would divide the remaining funds with him before they said their final goodbyes. After learning of Daniel Morris's corruption and desire to assassinate President Tom Stewart, Agent Smith contacted 47 shortly after arranging for Morris's murder. At the time, Morris was vice president. On September 22, 2005, 47 invaded the White House and killed Morris and Mark Parchesi III, the franchise's albino clone killer, stopping Stewart's murder. A government cover-up stated that the assassin was shot and fractured his back while attempting to climb over a gate during his escape. However, 47 fled alive and unnamed after Morris's death was determined to be a murder and received tremendous public attention. Diana Burnwood was instructed to take Kane and the franchise to 47 when she asked for a job shortly after. She then entered 47's hiding place unnoticed and used a syringe to poison him when his guard was down. The franchise squad then barged in to take a bone marrow sample from 47's body and prepare it for burial. The antidote is given by Diana, who then departs the scene. When 47 awakens at his own grave, he murders everyone there. It is revealed after the funeral that Diana really dosed 47 with non-lethal serum. After his fictitious burial, 47 initially chose not to speak with Diana or anybody else in the ICA, choosing instead to meet with an unidentified criminal at an Asian restaurant. The games don't say what occurred, but Agent 47 ultimately returned to the ICA and picked up where he left off, working with Diana Burnwood.
One day, I will think of this as just another job. After all, this is what I do.
Return to the ICA and the story beyond. Without 47's knowledge, Diana gets into a fight with her boss, Benjamin Travis, about the creation of a pet project and decides to leave the agency before they can murder her. While assisting 47 on an assignment in September 2011, Diana made her move. 1 year after the incident in Tibet, Roger pays 47 to assassinate Hector Corrado. During an organized crime tycoon Emilio Fernandez's yacht party off of Jamaica's coast, 47 successfully murdered Corrado. 47 is taken on board the Jean d'Anjou II, owned by the ICA, after a private jet carrying him to Rio de Janeiro crashed into the ocean. He is subsequently recruited into the ICA and tasked to assassinate Charlie Wilkins and Diana Linder. In actuality, Charlie gave the orders for both strikes. The first was to set up his presidential campaign, and the other was to capture and silence 47. On November 1st, 2012, 47 starts a relationship with Charlie's nervous personal assistant, Helen McAdams, while on an investigation in Virginia regarding the Church of Will, while posing as a farmer from Iowa called Stan Johnson. However, Helen is killed in the scuffle, where 47 also succeeds in killing Charlie. Travis manages 47 in Diana's absence, and their tense working relationship eventually leads to 47's uprising. Benjamin Travis dispatches Agent 47 to assassinate Diana, who has barricaded herself and Victoria in a leased home outside Chicago, Illinois, bordering Lake Michigan. Diana gets shot in the chest while taking a shower by 47, who then grants her final request to protect Victoria and murder Travis. Victoria replies to 47 that she wants to escape the doctors when he asks her why Diana saved her on the way out. 47 recalls the painful memories he experienced as a child as a patient in Ortmeyer's asylum at the hands of its employees. He chooses to keep her and Victoria safe in Chicago's Rosewood Orphanage. Travis declares 47 to be a renegade and gives the go-ahead to murder. After learning about Victoria from a local Chicago Chicagoan, weapons manufacturer Blake Dexter kidnaps her for genetic research and demands a ransom from the ICA. 47 receives assistance from Birdie, his go-to guy, who turns on him to Dexter and the Chicago police. On February 10, 2013, 47 will be in Chicago for the Chinese New Year. Most of Dexter's inner circle, including Sanchez, Clive Skirky, Marcus Green, Warren Ashford, Raymond Valentine, and Dexter's son Lenny, are killed by 47 within a few days after he pursues Dexter to his hometown of Hope, South Dakota. Then, 47 returns to Chicago, sneaking into Dexter's apartment and killing Layla Stockton, the man's assistant. After that, 47 kills Dexter and saves Victoria. 6 months later, 47 killed Benjamin Travis, Jade Nguyen, his assistant, and 3 Praetorian members, Jack Aegis, John Hoplon, and Carrie Scudam, tasked with protecting Travis at Diana's alleged burial in Cornwall, England. It is made clear that he was aware that he struck Diana where she could still live. 47 notes that Diana did make it out alive and is taking care of Victoria at her mansion. In return for his services, she transmits 47 money and welcomes him back to the agency.
Do you copy? Status report.
Mission failed.
47.
Diana Burnwood predicted in 2020 that a shadow client had planned 4 of 47's most recent murders. The ICA learned that cyber activist Olivia Hall was using a ranch in Colorado to send messages for the shadow client. 47 is hired to kill the shadow client and 4 of his henchmen at the ranch. Although 47 couldn't find the shadow client, he discovered the shadow client's link chart of Providence members and outstanding research about him. He also learns from his records that Eric Soders, a member of the ICA board, has been selling Providence the ICA as compensation for a life-changing medical procedure. 47 is admitted to an ultra-exclusive hospital under the pseudonym Tobias Reaper to kill Soders and his contact from Providence, Yuki Yamazaki, to prevent Soders from providing Providence with a complete list of ICA agents and deliver a warning against interfering with the ICA's sovereignty. The shadow client, later discovered to be the mercenary Lucas Gray, was the target of Providence's efforts to retaliate through the ICA. Agent 47 ultimately encounters the mercenary after repeated attacks on Gray's top lieutenants, only to learn that he is his childhood companion, Subject 6. As 6 continued on his journey to overthrow Providence, 47 and Diana joined him, after taking an antidote to Ortmeyer's amnesiac medicine. In the end, 47 and 6 abduct the Constant, Providence's best controller, who reports only to the enigmatic partners. Then, they proceed to learn the names of the 3 families that make up Providence's core: the Stuyvesants, the Carlyles, and the Ingrams. Alexander Fannin and Tim Quinn, the former president of Hamsun Oil, among many other Providence assets, discreetly resigned from their corporate positions within a month of one another as a result of Diana's eventual demolition of Providence. After seeing Diana again at her cottage in the woods a year later, 47 and Diana decide to go freelance and launch their own new assassination company with a focus on justice. Alternate origins of Agent 47 in Hitman movie. In the movie Hitman, which came out in 2007, Timothy Olyphant plays the role of Agent 47. Unlike the game, Agent 47 is a deadly assassin who was kidnapped as a child and was trained from an early age without any genetic enhancement under the tutelage of the organization. He is tasked to take out Russian President Mikhail Belikov, but it turns out that he was given the task by one of Belikov's body doubles who wanted to kill 47. During this time, 47 also gets romantically entangled with Belikov's mistress, Nika Boronina. He eventually kills the body double and successfully fakes his own death with the help of Agent Smith from Interpol. At the end of the movie, Nika receives a letter from 47, which mentions that she owns a vineyard, as she had casually mentioned to 47 that it was a childhood dream of hers. Meanwhile, 47 can be seen observing Nika through the scope of his sniper rifle from atop a building, standing next to the corpse of a dead agent. He casually walks away, saying he had previously warned everyone to keep Nika out of the mess.
Your actions have changed the world.
What makes Agent 47 a deadly assassin? 47 is at the height of physical capacity and in excellent physical shape. His power, quickness, flexibility, reflexes, sturdiness, and endurance are at the greatest level for a guy his age, height, and weight. He can run at amazing speeds for extended periods of time without getting tired, run through terrible physical pain and suffering, endure extreme cold, climb down the side of buildings, sprint and jump across buildings at tremendous heights, and even snap other men's necks with ease. Even when compared to adult males of the same size and build and peak shape, he is physically strong. He can climb pipes, move, pull, and dispose of bodies, snap opponents' necks, knock them out cold, and force open locked gates by ramming people into them. One of the deadliest assassins in the world, Agent 47 was well known for his skill in the assassination trade. He can kill several adversaries in the same place, one at a time, sneak up on practically anyone and kill them subtly since he is incredibly elusive. He is skilled at hiding in plain sight and infiltrating firmly secured areas. He would often blend in with a busy crowd and behave like them. In addition, he is an expert in espionage, stealth, infiltration, disguises, theft, and eavesdropping. Additionally, 47 is adept in the employment of disguises to get entry to restricted portions of a site and is aware of who can see through his present disguise. As an adept martial artist and highly trained ICA assassin, 47 can confront both armed and unarmed adversaries in hand-to-hand warfare and prevail. He can also quickly and easily knock out trained, equipped troops. He uses eskrima, kickboxing, Krav Maga, and jiu-jitsu in his fights. In battle, 47 is also adept at making the most of what is at hand and his surroundings. Sharpshooting, knife throwing, and incredibly precise shooting are all skills that 47 possesses. He has a thorough understanding of all weaponry and is an expert user of pistols, shotguns, submachine guns, assault and sniper rifles. 47 is able to handle his firearms with one hand and can shoot opponents correctly regardless of how far away they are. He typically hits them in the head.
Waiting. For what?
Marvelous videos. Agent 47 is one of the select few video game characters who defy categorization. As 47 follows orders and is compensated for doing so, his affiliation changes depending on the mission's goal. He doesn't care about right or wrong, politics, or the objective of his responsibilities. He is simply there to complete his tasks, regardless of whether they are ethically right or wrong. And it is what distinguishes him. And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. This has been Corey Whelan for Marvelous Videos. Have a good one, be safe out there, and thanks for watching.